Hello. Welcome to the podcasts of Dr. Pradeep, India's #1 YouTube channel, providing tips to improve your marriage and relationships.
Folks, in this video, Dr. Pradeep will explain about Gottmans' 4 horsemen and more.
Hello guys, in addition to the sound house theory, the Gottman method uses the 4 horsemen analogy to characterize poor communication styles and responses that can destroy a relationship. The cascade model of relational dissolution, also known as Gottman's 4 horsemen, is a relational communications theory that proposes 4 critically negative behaviors that lead to the breakdown of marital and romantic relationships. The analogy borrows the horseman metaphor from the 4 horsemen: conquest, war, hunger, and death of the apocalypse in the New Testament of the Bible, which is perhaps why the theory seems a bit dramatic. But the Gottmans know that communication can be what makes or breaks a relationship. In this analogy, the Gottmans' 4 horsemen are 1. Criticism, 2. Contempt, 3. Defensiveness, and 4. Stonewalling. Each of these things can create major problems in your relationship. It's important to be able to identify each of these 4 horsemen when they are present and work towards using more productive language and communication techniques. For each horseman, there is an anecdote that you can use to communicate kindly and more effectively. 1. In this analogy, criticism is the first horseman in a relationship. It is never helpful to criticize your partner's character. If you are unhappy with a specific thing they did, it may be necessary to express your complaint, but it's important to do so without attacking your partner for who they are. Instead of criticizing your partner, you should bring up your complaints by using I statements to talk about what you need from your partner. 2. Contempt is the second horseman and is a degree meaner than criticism. If you or your partner express contempt in your communication style, you assume a morally superior position and critique your partner from that position. This can manifest in ridiculing your partner, mocking them, or using sarcasm. Contempt is often fueled by unaddressed negative feelings towards your partner. Instead of approaching a conversation or a conflict with contempt, it's important to affirm the qualities that you like in your partner and affirm positive things they do. It's also important to address small conflicts as they arise to avoid stewing over insignificant things. 3. The third horseman is defensiveness, which is often a response to criticism. Being defensive often involves finding excuses and trying to reallocate blame, which is never constructive. If you find yourself being defensive, try to take responsibility by accepting your partner's opinion, apologizing, and moving on. 4. The fourth and final horseman is stonewalling, which is normally a response to contempt. Stonewalling occurs when you or your partner completely shut down and tune out during a conversation. Stonewalling is a result of physiological flooding, and it can often be difficult to converse effectively in this state. To avoid stonewalling during an argument, you should acknowledge that you are overwhelmed and take space from the topic until you feel that you can talk about it rationally and kindly. Don't be discouraged if this seems overwhelming. Identifying the 4 horsemen and developing more effective communication strategies can be very difficult, which is why you need an experienced marriage therapist to help you work through this. Now, you may want to hear about research-based principles for making marriage work, what successful relationships look like, and some valuable activities to help couples strengthen their relationships. The 7 principles, along with a few relationship strengthening activities to try, follows. 1. Enhance your love maps. Love is in the details. That is, happy couples are very much familiar with their partner's world. According to Gottman, these couples have a richly detailed love map in that part of your brain where you store all the relevant information about your partner's life. You know everything from your partner's favorite movies to what's currently stressing them out to some of their life dreams, and they know yours. If not, work on it. 2. Nurture your fondness and admiration. Happy couples respect each other and have a general positive view of each other. Gottman says that fondness and admiration are 2 of the most important elements in a satisfying and long-term relationship. If these elements are completely missing, the marriage can't be saved. Gottman includes a helpful activity to remind couples of the partner they fell in love with, called I Appreciate. He suggests to list 3 or more of their partner's positive characteristics along with an incident that illustrates each quality. Then read your list to each other. 3. Turn toward each other instead of away. Romance isn't a Caribbean cruise or an expensive meal or a lavish gift. Rather, romance is in and thrives in the everyday little things. According to Gottman, real life romance is kept alive each time you let your spouse know he or she is valued during the grind of everyday life. For instance, romance is leaving an encouraging voicemail for your spouse when you know he's having a bad day. Gottmans says, or romance is running late but taking a few minutes to listen to your wife's bad dream and saying that you'll discuss it later, instead of saying I don't have time. Gottman acknowledges that this might seem humdrum, but turning toward each other in these ways is the basis for connection and passion. Couples that turn toward each other have more in their emotional bank account. Gottman says that this account distinguishes happy marriages from miserable ones. Happy couples have more goodwill and positivity stored in their bank accounts, so when rough times hit, their emotional savings cushion conflicts and stressors. 4. Let your partner influence you. Happy couples are a team that considers each other's perspective and feelings. They make decisions together and search out common ground. Letting your partner influence you isn't about having one person hold the reins. It's about honoring and respecting both people in the relationship. 5. Solve your solvable problems. Gottman says that there are two types of marital problems: conflicts that can be resolved and perpetual problems that can't. It's important for couples to determine which ones are which. Sometimes, though, telling the difference can be tricky. According to Gottman, one way to identify solvable problems is that they seem less painful, gut-wrenching, or intense than perpetual, gridlocked ones. Solvable problems are situational, and there's no underlying conflict. Gottman devised a 5-step model for resolving these conflicts. In step 1, soften your startup, which simply means starting the conversation without criticism or contempt. In step 2, make and receive repair attempts. Gottman defines repair attempts as any action or statement that de-escalates tension. In step 3, soothe yourself and then your partner. When you feel yourself getting heated during a conversation, let your partner know that you're overwhelmed and take a 20-minute break. That's how long it takes for your body to calm down. Then you might try closing your eyes, taking slow, deep breaths, relaxing your muscles and visualizing a calm place. After you've calmed down, you might help soothe your partner. Ask each other what's most comforting and do that. In step 4, compromise. The above steps prime couples for compromise because they create positivity. Gottman says, when conflicts arise, it's important to take your partner's thoughts and feelings into consideration. Here, Gottman includes a valuable exercise to help couples find common ground. He suggests that each partner draw 2 circles, a smaller one inside a larger one. In the smaller circle, make a list of your non-negotiable points. In the bigger one, make a list of what you can compromise on. Share them with each other and look for common ground. Consider what you agree on, what your common goals and feelings are, and how you can accomplish these goals. In step 5, remember to be tolerant of each other's faults. Gottman says that compromise is impossible until you can accept your partner's flaws and get over the if onlys. You know the ones? If only he was this, if only she was that. 6. Overcome gridlock. Gottman says that the goal with perpetual problems is for couples to move from gridlock to dialogue. What usually underlies gridlock is unfulfilled dreams. Gridlock is a sign that you have dreams for your life that aren't being addressed or respected by each other. Gottman writes, happy couples believe in the importance of helping each other realize their dreams. So, the first step in overcoming gridlock is to determine the dream or dreams that are causing your conflict. The next steps include talking to each other about your dreams, taking a break, since some of these talks can get stressful, and making peace with the problem. The goal is to declaw the issue, to try to remove the hurt so the problem stops being a source of great pain. Gottman writes, 7. Create shared meaning. Marriage isn't just about raising kids, splitting chores, and making love. It can also have a spiritual dimension that has to do with creating an inner life together. A culture rich with rituals, and an appreciation for your roles and goals that link you, that lead you to understand what it means to be a part of the family you have become, Gottman says, and that's what it means to develop shared meaning. Happy couples create a family culture that includes both of their dreams. In being open to each other's perspectives and opinions, happy couples naturally come together. Folks, now we have come to the end of this video. Don't be discouraged if this seems overwhelming. Identifying all your issues and developing more effective marital strategies that will work for you can be very difficult, which is why you need an experienced marriage therapist to help you work through this. End of part 2.
Hope you enjoyed this video and learned a few things that could help you in increasing closeness and bonding with your spouse. Thank you.